Okay, it's time for a new video, and it's of the video game Robocop Rogue City for the PlayStation 5. This was one of my Christmas pickups that I bought for out of my Christmas money. Um, this is a first-person shooter game developed by Tion and published by a company called Nikon. Now, the company Tion, if I'm pronouncing that right, so pardon me if I butchered the pronunciation. They're actually a small company that developed this game. And I remember a couple of years ago hearing that they were going to be making a Robocop game. Now one of the first Robocop games that I remember was the Robocop one on the arcades, and that was in the late 80s. I forgot who kind of made that game, but there's loads of playthroughs of it on YouTube, and I absolutely loved that game. I remember playing the arcade version of Robocop, the first game, in the arcades at Forth Park. So that just shows you, for those in the UK, that will show you how long ago that was. It was a long time ago. I've all know that obviously there's ways of playing that game on free emulation. And obviously they did make a Robocop 2 arcade game, which I never got round to playing. And there was a Robocop 3 game, which was developed on the Super Nintendo, which I heard isn't kind of particularly very great. I never got round to playing that that game either. I did have the arcade port of Robocop on the ZX Spectrum Plus 3 all those years ago. So but I don't but that was a very long time ago into the playing that game. Now obviously with it being made by a smaller company, obviously there were fears of whether or not obviously the game would actually be any good, because obviously people, when it comes to the game companies, you're looking at terms of quality of gaming, big budget on games, when especially it comes to big game franchises and big companies. And also these were made by a handful of programmers at the company, and the game was actually very well received. Now, there was a demo that was available, but it was only available on PC. There wasn't a demo available for console owners, and according to them, that they didn't have time to be able to make one available, because they were trying to spend the limited time they had in trying to finish off the game and iron out the bugs. Now, I have heard that there were some bugs at launch with the game, and I've been told, well, should I say I've read up upon that they've managed to iron out most of the bugs, but I don't know if if they've been completely eliminated. It is available, as I said, on PC, the PS5 version, as you can see here, and on Xbox Series X. So it's not available on anything below the PS4 and Xbox One, as far as I know. What's really great about this game is that it's voiced. Robocop is voiced once by Peter Weller, who played Alex Murphy stroke Robocop in Robocop 1 and 2. So it's great to have his voice back. As for the other characters, obviously you've got the likenesses of the characters from the Robocop movies, but not all their voices. Obviously, whether or not they couldn't afford to pay the actors, or some of the actors have sadly passed away. Because I know the actor that played Reed, he in the first 3 Robocop movies, he sadly passed away a few years ago. So that would have been quite impossible. But his likeness is still in the game. Now, the game is supposed to be set between Robocop 1 and Robocop 2, and as I said before, very violent, as from what I've been hearing. And for most, don't know if most people know that I'm a massive Robocop fan, especially of the first movie, Robocop movie, which I did do a review on it, and that movie is an absolute classic. Obviously, they would follow up with the Robocop 2, which, although again, I have to do a review on Robocop 2 as well, although not as strong as the first movie, still enjoyable. And then obviously there was Robocop 3, which obviously had a lot of development problems. But in places the movie's good, but not a patch on the first 2 movies, especially the first one. And then there was the Robocop remake, which some ways was good in terms of fleshing out certain stuff that the first Robocop movie didn't do, but unfortunately missed what was the heart of what made Robocop, the original movie, so good. So that was kind of unfortunate. And last I've heard, they're supposed to be making another Robocop movie. Again, whether it's a follow-up to the movies or it's going to be a straight reboot again, only time will tell. But that's in development hell, as they call it. So time will tell as to what's going to happen with that. As I said before, from the videos that I've seen of people playing the actual game, a lot of people, YouTubers were kind of very taken aback, because obviously with it being a much smaller budget and the amount of people that had to work in it, you would be expecting obviously a lesser quality of the game, but it actually proved people wrong, which is what I like to say, because a lot of the problem with, I think, the problem with video games now is that, I think it's the same thing with movies, and if you want to put them in the same kind of a bracket, is that they're giving these movies and video games such a high budget, and it's over the top, and you have to make, for the video games to sell or movies to sell, they have to hit a certain amount just to break even. And sometimes it proves that with the right people behind it, the right amount of time, the skill level with in terms of the programmers, right, you can make a good fantastic video game or movie without having to have a huge budget put onto the video game or the movie. And this video game has proven that point, that you don't have to have such a huge budget, and it's proven, that how good the actual game was. In the early stages, it was advertised it was going to be out on the Nintendo Switch, but it never happened. Who knows, with the Switch 2 just around the corner, who knows, that might see the light of day on the Switch 2, depending obviously on how powerful that's going to be in the storage on that. So yeah, that would be nice if they could somehow put that on the Switch 2. And obviously not on the Switch 1, because it's not powerful enough. So we shall start the unboxing. Now, I did get this off Amazon, and they were selling it a little bit cheaper than the full price that it was. Now, what I noticed is that, especially in the UK, I don't know what it's like in the across the world, is that there's virtually hardly any places selling physical copy games anymore. And even when some places that still were selling physical copy of games, I didn't even see Robocop even available, which was a bit weird. I know at one point online that it was coming in and out of stock in different websites, but again, as I said before, managed to get it a little bit cheaper. Plus, I got this out of my Christmas money, so obviously I didn't pay a thing for it. Again, at some point I will be doing a playthrough of it sometime in the near future, so keep an eye on that, whether it's going to be on Twitch, whether I do it live, or download the parts onto YouTube, whichever way you prefer in watching my video game walkthroughs, or no, not walkthroughs, they're playthroughs. You'll be able to see it on whichever platform. So again, as I said, huge Robocop fan. As I said before, part man, part machine, all cop. And if you can tilt this to see it, it says here, your mission: eradicate crime from the streets of Detroit. Your strengths: robotic upgrades and strong arm of the law. Your weapons: anything necessary. And it says here, a new original story set in the world of Robocop. Again, as I said before, it's a first-person shooter. It's one player. Be wary of your storage on your PS5, because it says here it's to install the game, it's a minimum of 100 gigs. So make sure obviously that you've got enough memory, or whether you've done memory upgrades on your actual machine. It says vibration play function and trigger effect supported. So you've got the haptic feedback, obviously that's on the actual game, and obviously you've got here the publishers there and the developers of the actual game. There you've got the studio MGM, obviously, that still hold the license of the Robocop franchise, and obviously it's on an Ultra HD Blu-ray, so bear that in mind. And it's a rated 18, so there's violence and bad language. But again, as I said, it's really great that they got the original, that they got Peter Weller to voice Robocop, so it gives it that sense of authenticity in hearing him speak. So that's an absolute bonus. From what I've heard about the game, obviously you've got the main game, and then you've got side missions as well, so that's really great. I know that they recently did a update to give you a new game plus. Obviously the game's harder, and I don't know if there's a what other stuff to put in there. I do know there's DLC available in a sense of that you can get different skins and different weapons, that packs that you can buy on whichever system you get it on, whether it's on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. You whichever store, the Microsoft Store or the PlayStation Store, you can buy extra gear for your character if you choose to do so. Again, obviously there's no artwork there. Obviously it's a clean brand new disc, and you've got, as for Robocop himself on there, the future of law enforcement. As I said before, love the Robocop movie, especially the original. Absolute classic for me. And as I said before, I'm looking forward to playing this game in the near future. So this is Robocop Rogue City for the PlayStation 5. Available, as I said before, on the Xbox Series X and on the PC platform. I have heard stories about people saying that it runs better on the Xbox Series X. I don't know that's whether it's before or after the patch, so bear that in mind when it comes to the actual game. Or if you're somebody that's got both systems, then obviously you can choose. I mean, as for, because I've got both the Series X and the PS5, I tend to just choose sometimes whichever. If there's a game I want, whichever is the cheapest on on across the two platforms. So I've got the best of both worlds when it comes to making that choice. So as for, this is Robocop Rogue City. Anyway, I hope people found this video informative, and please feel free to share with your friends and family. Also, can give this video a thumbs up. I'd highly appreciate that. That allows people to find my YouTube channel and YouTube content on the YouTube recommendation page. This is because of the YouTube algorithms favor the bigger YouTubers when it comes to advertising their channels. So that will help me find new viewership and new subscribers. And speaking of subscribing, if you already haven't, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you want to see stuff like this, unboxings, food reviews, comic books, unboxings of various things on my YouTube channel, I'm sure there's something that people will like. Just for Christmas, we hit the 500 plus mark, so a big thank you to subscribers old and new. Really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And we're pretty much halfway to 600. So for me, the next milestone will be 1,000 subs. Hopefully we'll get there sooner rather than later. So a big thank you to all those that have subscribed to my channel, as I said before, old and new. And it just leaves me to say, wherever you're in the world, please stay safe. Please keep warm, because it's been pretty cold in the UK. And I know it's been pretty cold in North America. Also keep dry, because it's been raining up in the UK. And I'll speak to you again in the next video. Bye for now.